This conference will now be recorded.
Jai. Welcome to the Anjana Sutta Academy Daily Srimad Bhagavatam class. And today is, what is today? You may ask. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Today is the 2nd of June, 2021, and in this material world. Okay. And this is our daily class of Srimad Bhagavatam, Anjana Sutta Academy, jayarama.us. And let us see who is here now with us in our audience. Well, we see Sugopi Radha Devidasi, Srinivasacharya of Ravanari Das, Pyari Mohan Das, Parasuram Avatar Das, Panchatattva Das, Mitravinda Devidasi, Lalita Gopi Devidasi, Karuna Shakti Devidasi, Hemakanti, Gandharva Indira Saki, Dave. Aha. Hello, Dave. Shishi Radhagiridhari. Danielle Aturei. Okay. Welcome to our Sangha. Chaitanya Charitamrita Das. Arjuna Das. Shai. Antonio. There are many Antonios in this world. Abhinandan Das, Ishwari Devi Dasi, and Sundar Radhika Organizer, Devi Dasi Organizer, and HP Swami, me Organizer. Okay, let's see. Are you there, Abhinandan? Or have you gone to work? Hello, Abhinandana Das. Not there. Okay. Chaitanya Charitamrita, can you be our chief goose?
Maharaj, yes.
Hello, Chief. Okay.
Friend, please go home way see.
God. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Hey Gopi Janabalaba Gidivaradari.
Jaya Gopi Janabalaba Girvaradari.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Jamuna Tira Vanachari.
Tira Vanachari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Shishi Radha Madhava Astasaki Ki Dai. Narayanam Namaskrityam.
Ayam Namaskrityam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Om Chaiva Narottam.
Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam.
Devim Saraswati Vyasam.
Tato Jayam Udirayat
To Jayam Ayinter.
Udirayat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Okay, so here we have a nice verse for today, as opposed to I guess, an evil verse. Srimad Bhagavatam 1:114. Apana Sankshritim Goram
Apanam Samsritam Goram.
Yanama Vivaso Grinam
Ananam Yanama Vivashogrinam.
Tata Sadyo Vimuchyata
Asadyo Vimuchecha.
Yad Vibeti Swayam Bayam.
Adivete Swayambayam.
You chant, and we will repeat.
Apana Samsritam Goram.
Apanach Sankritim Goram
Vivashogrinam.
Yanama Vivasho Grinam
Tasadyo Vimuchecha.
Tata Sadyo Vimuchyata
Adivete Swayambayam.
Yabibeti Swayam Bayam. Another devotee can chant? Apanam Sangsatim Goram Yanama Vivaso Grinam Tata Sadya Vimuchyata Yad Bibheti Swayam Bhayam. One more, one more.
Apana.
Go ahead, Prabhu.
Oh, thanks. Apana samritim goram.
Apana Sankritim Ghoram
Yannama vivashogrinan.
Yanama Vivasho Grinan
Atasadyo vimuchita.
Tatah Sadyo Vimuchyata
Yadvibheti swayam bhayam.
Habibeti Swayam Bayam Apana Sankritim Ghoram Yanama Vivasho Grinan Tata Sadyo Vimuchyata Tadbibeti Swayam Bayam. So this is Sukadev Goswami, the very beginning of the Bhagavatam. Rather, no, this is the sages of Naimisharanya with big beards. They all have, some of them, the picture shows some have big beards and some are brahmacharis. And they're for all of our benefit, they're placing their case before Sutta Goswami, who is blessed with many years and is blessed with the mercy of his spiritual masters because he was submissive and has followed all the rules and regulations. So a very, very good speaker like that. So, can you see whose microphone? Somebody microphone open. Can you close it? Maybe I don't know who it is. Maybe it's mine. Yeah. And then later can talk. Okay. And so you can understand this is I have an impression that they aren't like, what is it? Are they in anxiety? Yeah. Shonaka Rishi is leading the leader of the house, vastly learned, older person, maybe the oldest person, leader of the house, and so he's receiving Sutta Goswami and giving him glorification. Who are you? What do we want? What is our problem? And I don't know, maybe he's in complete anxiety like that. Yeah. Or maybe he's like even mildly, talking mildly, because he says the only result of all of our fire sacrifices is that our bodies are turning black from the smoke. Okay, so maybe he's even a little bit of sense of humor in the situation, but at the same time, they must all be looking. All the other sages are also looking with concern, because we want to do something good for people. I think it's in general, all of us, everybody here too. Maybe we're locked down, or we just cannot get past all the big barriers that the modern industrialized society presents to any kind of preaching work or education, or people are just crazy, absorbed in sense gratification. But in any condition where devotees have this compassion, Jayananda, remember him saying this devotee always has this situation, and he wants to help other people. It feels bad that he can't do it. So here we are asking the same questions. Sages of Naimisharanya, Apanasang, and then they're saying, we want to hear from you. Well, why? Because this verse just says why. Apanha sang sutim goram yanama vivashogaranam tata sadyo vimujeta tabibeti swayambayam. Okay, Chaitanya Charitamrita, please repeat. Apana, being entangled.
Being entangled.
That's an interesting translation. Sankritim,
Kritim,
in the hurdle of birth and death.
the hurdle of birth and death.
Goram, too complicated.
Too complicated.
Sometimes is your life Goram?
Oh yes.
Is it mostly Goram?
No, not lately. It's been more centralized thanks to Bhakti
Oh,
Yoga.
wow. You're better off than I am. Yat.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Okay, that's easy to remember. Nama,
Nama,
the absolute name.
the absolute name.
Yeah. I remember when Peter, do you know Peter Alston?
Heard the name. I can't place it now.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest martial arts guys in the world. Anyway, he was teaching Xingyi, Pakwao, and Tai Chi or something. And one of them was translated as supreme, undifferentiated, absolute fist. So here we have Nama, the absolute name. That's pretty scary. Viva Shaha,
Shaha,
unconsciously.
consciously.
Okay, that applies to me a lot. Grinan,
Vietnam,
chanting.
chanting.
Tataha,
Shaha,
from that. Sadhyaha,
Jaha,
at once.
at once.
This also occurs in the when Queen Devahuti, after hearing everything from her son Kapila, she says that even anybody who is found to be chanting the holy names is immediately qualified to do any Vedic sacrifice, worship Shalagram Shila. So I think it's the same word, sadhyaha, immediately. Vimuchyata,
Mucchetta,
vimuchyata,
vimucchetta,
gets freedom.
it's freedom.
Sounds like mukti. Yat,
God,
now it means that which.
that which.
Before it meant what. Bibeti,
Vivete,
fears.
spirits.
Abhaya, charanara vindam, fearless, bhaya. Swayam, personally.
Personally.
Bhayam, fear itself.
Fear itself.
Apana sanskringoram yanama vivasho granam tata sadyo vimuchyata ya bibeti swayam bhayam. Living beings who are entangled in the complicated meshes of birth and death can be freed immediately by even unconsciously chanting the holy name of Krishna, which is fear personified. Please repeat. Living beings
Beings
who are entangled in the complicated meshes of birth and death,
tangled in the complicated meshes of birth and death,
can be freed immediately,
freed immediately,
even by unconsciously chanting the holy name
even by unconsciously chanting the holy name
of Krishna,
of Krishna,
which is fear personified.
feared by feared personified.
We're sitting by the side of the road, you and I, and everybody's running down the road all of a sudden, screaming, running in terror. So we grab somebody and we say, "What's wrong?" And he says, "Oh, death personified is coming." Okay, and we look up, and here comes death personified, but he's not out to get anybody. He's running in terror. We say, "What are you running from?" And then Krishna is coming. Okay, and then we look down the road, and here comes Krishna, and Krishna himself, little boy, is running like the Dickens himself as fast as he can go. And then what does he say? Anybody know?
He's running from Mother Yashoda.
You got it. Yeah. He says, "Run, Mother Yashoda's coming." Okay. So we got a little more. We were one up on the sages of Nine Sharanya. Living beings are entangled in the complicated meshes of birth and death, can be freed immediately, even by unconsciously chanting the holy name of Mother Yashoda, who was feared. Oh my God. Yeah. Who was feared, which is feared by Krishna himself when he's been naughty. Okay. So what a wonderful religion we got. I'm reading a very, very nice thing by one Reverend Watchman Nee, our very, very nice, Don Beckman. He has a gardening work for the whole community here, everything else. Very nice person. Yeah. And we were talking about religion, and he has his religion coming from some Korean person, maybe 1938, 40s, who has some very inspired relationship with the Bible. And of course, that's the Bible in Korea. And so I asked him for some of his books. I gave him some of our books and tried to look at them. And they appear to be, understanding, the same God we're worshiping. But I feel that we have such a very nice, appreciation of Krishna and his associates and his different abodes and places like that. And Christianity is usually not very clear. So this is the situation. Okay, Chaitanya Charitamrita, did you ever do any carpentry work?
Yes, occasionally.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Did you ever see a carpenter hit his thumb with a hammer?
Oh yeah, I see some damage out there.
Okay. What did they usually say when they hit their thumb with a hammer? So some of it, I guess, can't be repeated, right?
Yeah, there's different people who are more in the mode of passion tend to get real angry. Some people, their error and just they turn bright red. Yeah, some of the language can be inappropriate for the occasion, I guess. But
yeah. Did you ever hear anybody say "God damn it"?
yeah, but myself, I might even said that, but that's out of frustration when you have an injury like that, especially when you.
Yeah, there you go. So usually, I think people say one of three words, and two of them are in reference to the Muladhara chakra, the lowest chakra in the body, which is concerned with urinating, defecating, and copulating. And it's interesting, every three of those words, which I just presented in Latin, urinating, defecating, and copulating, also have taboo words in English, all related to the lower part of the body. Yeah, that's the Muladhara chakra. The stomach, good essence, good meal, and the diaphragm, we're going up. So two words, they usually say one of two words that have, very, very low part of the body, Oh, yeah. But then sometimes people say, oh, God damn it. Okay. And here we have immediately. They're not conscious of what they're saying even, you know. But just by unconsciously saying the name, Namabas, it takes the pain away. That's why they do it. You know, there's liberation there. And consciously they're liberated like that. So the sages are saying it's so powerful. And over here, I'm trying my PowerPoint shows here. I think if I click this, it's going to take us to the actual verse. Oh my God, it worked. Can you see the verse?
Sure.
My gosh. Okay.
Okay.
Purport. Not very long. Prabhupada says, Vasudeva, or Lord Krishna, the absolute personality of Godhead. Now we have the absolute name, the absolute supreme undifferentiated fist. Now we have the absolute personality. Wow. So many famous movie stars and starlets are all trying to project their personality and making millions of dollars by doing some of these things. What's his name? Anthony something. He did The Silence of the Lamb or something like that. Anthony Perkins, got a Nobel Prize recently, whatever it is. Yeah. And so these people, their personalities are so famous. Morgan Freeman. What else we got? What is the one? I can't remember his name now. It's the one with the fast runaway cars. You'll see that other ones do. Anyway, their personalities are so expanded and everything else. And many times, of course, their actual real personality is different than their stage presence. Okay, but this is the absolute personality of Godhood. Many personalities of Godhood, but one of them is the absolute personality. He is the supreme controller of everything. There is no one in creation who is not afraid of the rage of the Almighty. Great asuras like Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, Kamsa, and others who were very powerful living entities were all killed by the personality of Godhead. Wow. Maybe this, and of course, that's a birth and death. Birth and death, we may not be thinking about actually dying grossly and taking birth grossly because we're not on that level. But every day I die, right? We're born, and the day wakes up, and many people, myself, maybe you too, and it's another day, and you're getting up early, okay, somehow or other. Some people don't get up until 11 o'clock in the morning. There's a whole community of people, partying, and there used to be lords and ladies in England. They would get up at 11 o'clock, get their day together, and then have supper at 6 o'clock, and then go off, to the theater. And after the theater, they would go to a big hall, and the ladies would be dressed in fine gowns, all for that season. Maybe they had to have a different one for each night. Okay, the gentlemen would be in tuxedos and excellent meals of fish, first of fish, then and then finally finishing off and getting to bed by maybe about 2 o'clock in the morning. And it's just their life, the different kinds of fine wines. So they never have any, I guess, any hope. But some people getting up earlier, and maybe as devotees, if we're getting up by 4 o'clock in the morning, by Brahma Muhurta, or even better, much earlier. Best time to chant your rounds is before Mangalarti. Okay. Then, we become easily, we see that it's so easy to be a devotee, to chant, everything else, and actually organize our mind and have some perspective on things and building our foundation. And then when the day starts with all this, passionate activity, it doesn't bother us, because we know why we're doing things. Okay. So I'm trying to take control here. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Okay. You mute your microphone there. Not talking. There we go. Got it. Yeah. There's some heavy breathing. Yeah. Okay. So then as we know as we go on, the mode of passion will start, and we'll start enjoying or suffering depending on what's happening, and trying to accomplish things and being successful or failing. Then when the night starts to come and we just want to relax, Now we want to be served. We want to enjoy or forget. So then of course, there's a temptation for, popping a pizza in the oven or something, or entering ice cream in the bowl or something. So many things, enjoyment, and it's enjoyment in the mode of ignorance, which leads to suffering. Of course, some people, of course, drinking at night and so on. So every day we're born and we want to try and avoid these things, and then we die. We're killed again and again. And so within our hearts, we can't get rid of it. Maybe we're making a little progress, getting free from these different anarthas. Yeah, we are. Okay. But boy, I wish it could be faster. Because then we can maybe serve Krishna so nicely every day. Do our work and see better results through us. So yeah, the holy names are so powerful that even the demons in our heart, there's no one in creation who is not afraid of the rage of the Almighty. Okay, so Ram raged against Ravana. Lord Nrsimhadev raged against Hiranyakasipu, and then Vasudeva Krishna raged against Kamsa, and others who were very powerful living entities were all killed by the personality of Godhead. And the Almighty Vasudeva has empowered his name with the powers of his personal self. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. And ignorance covers our intelligence. What is my priority service? What should I do? Vidyavadu Jivanam. Chanting? Well, no. Everything is related to him. Oh, and everything has its identity in him. Oh, it is stated herein that the name of Krishna is feared even by fear personified. Open the door here. I had to move into another room here because it was too cold in the other one. Yeah. Okay. It is stated herein that the name of Krishna is feared even by fear personified. This indicates that the name of Krishna is non-different from him. Therefore, the name of Krishna is as powerful as Lord Krishna himself. There is no difference at all. Wow. Anyone, therefore, can take advantage of the holy names of Lord Sri Krishna, even in the midst of the greatest dangers. Hare Krishna! Hare Krishna! One time I go to India, and my sannyas nature, it's not necessarily good, but sometimes it's bad, because you want to be alone all the time. You don't take proper association. So one time I was in India, and somehow or other, what had happened? Sannyasi, and there was a festival going on somewhere more in the south, and so I went there, and sannyasi, I got accommodations, which was a room full of sannyasis. They squeezed me in at the very end. I had just taken sannyas. I was traveling in India for the first time like that, kind of, and taking it from Hansaduta, I guess, and then from Subramaniar, then. And so he left, and so I was traveling myself. So we went to this temple opening, and was squeezed in with maybe 15 more sannyasis in a tiny room. And then talking with some of them, my first chance to associate with sannyasis, and they were, giving me advice about things I was doing wrong as a sannyasi, which were true. Yeah, I didn't know. The culture is amazing. You take sannyas to avoid all the social formalities, but here I had to learn social formalities and different things. So anyway, then after that, I went. Somebody went to Orissa or something. Maybe I went myself. And I ended up there in Jagannath Puri for the first time by myself. The only time I went. It's an amazing place. Wow. And to be there as a sannyasi in 84, 85, 84, something like that. Unusual situation. Yeah. So then one night I was just walking back from one area where I walked during the daytime. We had to go a little bit, out of there's gonna be one pathway that went away from the inhabited areas. And suddenly I was surrounded by 3, 4, 5, 6 6 wild dogs, and they were growling and starting to bark at me, and and very much it's like Radha Swami when he was drowning or he was attacked by dogs too. Yeah, they kill people, just tear you to pieces and have a good feast. So I think I just chanted Hare Krishna very loudly, from the corner of my heart without even thinking about it. And had my danda with it, I just kind of whirled it spontaneously. Then I all kind of jumped back. Then I didn't run, but then I just started walking on. Then the path was a little narrower, so they had to be behind me. They couldn't quite regroup and fix their intelligence. Maybe this guy has some gigantic sword or something. Then I was back in a more popular area. It's one experience, and maybe other people also may have this experience of just chanting. Anyone can therefore take advantage of the holy names of Lord Sri Krishna, even in the midst of the greatest dangers. But of course, you may have to be humble like Draupadi. You may suddenly, in the midst of all these troubles and your pride and your honor and your dignity as a woman or a man, you may just have to, like a little child, just cry out, Mommy, Krishna, Devaki, Yashodanandana, Yashodanandana. Yeah. And people laughing at you, ha ha ha. He's not a big man like us. we control the world. Yeah. So yeah, maybe admit in front of everybody that we're quite small. The transcendental name of Krishna, even though uttered unconsciously or by the force of circumstance, can help one obtain freedom from the hurdle of birth and death. So, anybody have any comments on this? Chief guest. Chaitanya Charitamrita, you have to unmute yourself there. Do you have any comments on this idea so far, or questions?
Yeah, the observation of like in the midst of the greatest dangers, the holy name is available for that protection. What about the midst of the greatest pleasures?
Very nice. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes, sir.
Of course,
the
pleasure is achieved because Krishna is the greatest pleasure.
Uh-huh.
So it's a win situation when it comes to the holy names of Lord Krishna.
Yeah. And it's by force of circumstance. So the kind of pleasures we're thinking about here are the pleasures that are actually forced upon us. Pleasures that are being forced upon us and can make us, and we know they can make us forget everything else. They can oblige us to future karma. But like you're saying, at that point, if we can also chant, Madhvacharya has one prayer which says that the holy name is so powerful that it can defeat all kinds of lust. So chant and chew. There we go. Never chew without chanting. Yeah. Yes. One of our monkey piggy phrases. Who else? Who else has some intelligent comments, or even unintelligent comments at this point? Where
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my respectful obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
do you have an intelligent comment or question?
I hope so. I don't think so, but I will try anyway. About the strong personalities, when you was talking about them, I remember Muhammad Ali, who declared, I am the strongest man, I'm the most powerful, and something stuff like that. And later, he had a strong sickness, Parkinson, very strong, very strong. But later, he had anyway association with Bhakti Tirtha Swami. So I hope he was better in that way. That's my comment. Thank you very much, Maharaj, for your beautiful class.
Yeah, it's a fact. He said that one interview he was saying, I'm the greatest. I'm going to beat that fellow. And he said, I know you don't like to hear it. He said, sometimes even I don't like to hear it when I'm saying it. But he said, this is a fact. Okay. Yeah, I think he always had a little sense of humor, which is good. Yeah. Wow. What do these guys weigh? 204, 280 pounds or something, like over 2 meters tall. They can, with their gloves on, they can literally just punch a hole and punch your door off the hinges. Wow. But they're nothing compared to the holy name. Okay, we have a little bit more here. We can go ahead and let's click on the second box. What is that? 2 1. This is 2 1 1 1. What is this? Oh, this is fun. Okay. Jai, Bidabhe Sarai Oki Jai. Okay. Chaitanya Charitamrita, how long it take you to buy Audi?
How long for what?
How long it take you to buy Audi?
Well, buy a car?
Your volume is real low. I don't know why.
Let's try. It's better.
Prahlad Nrsimha is, of course, our some ways we initiated him. I'll say that. Yeah, we gave him we initiated him on behalf of Param Prashila Prabhupada. Very nice devotee. He, of course, does the database.io. But do you know him? He's from the Czech Republic.
What was the name again?
Prahlad Ananda. Prahlad Nrsimha, something. Yeah. I don't think you met him. Very nice person. Oh, very, very nice. Always. You two are very similar personality, but he's a computer programmer guy, and you're Swiss Army pocket knife. God. So he told me a joke. Okay. In Czechoslovakia, the doctors, the lawyers, and the customs guys are famous for taking bribes. Each one progressively more greedy. So somebody asked the doctor, "How long it take you to buy Audi?" There's a car named Audi. How long it take you to buy Audi? The doctor says, "Oh, I can buy Audi in 6 months." And he asked the doctor, "How long it take you to buy Audi?" And the lawyer, and the lawyer says, "Oh, I can buy Audi in 3 months." All together in a bar. Then he asked the customs guy, "How long it take you to buy Audi?" The customs guy kind of thinks, and he says, "Oh, it take me maybe 3 years." And everybody's shocked, and they say, "You're the most famous customs people for taking bribes, And the guy says, "Yes, but Audi is big company." Yes. Yes. So that's Prahlad Nrsimha, Czechoslovakian humor. But behind everything, there's a person. I wouldn't be surprised if you keep kind of looking at database.io, you find little jokes put in here and there, especially if anybody's Krishna conscious. So 2-1-1-1, second canto, first chapter, 11th verse. Please repeat. Etan nirvidyamananam.
Etan nirvidyamananam.
Ichatam akato bhayam.
Chitam akuto bayam.
Yoginam nripanir nitam.
Yoginam nripa nirnitam.
Harinam
Harinama nukirtanam.
Are there any Sanskritists in the audience? Can they break down the word nirvidyamananam? Nir means not, Nobody knows Sanskritists here today. How unfortunate. When I was going to the airport. Oh, nir means not, right?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, and then vid means to know, so not knowing. And this seems to be a present participle. And it's in the genitive plural, so it would be of those who do not know or who are not knowing.
Okay, Prabhupada's translation is of those who are completely free from all material desires. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So Prabhupada gives nirvidya mananam. Okay, mananam, genitive, of those. Nirvidya mananam. We've heard from good Sanskrit authorities that Prabhupada includes the commentaries of Sridhar Swami and his translations like that. And Jiva Goswami, of course, prominently in the purports. So this is to understand what we're doing, why Prabhupada's verses are like this. Ichatam. Is that also genitive? Ichatam. Oh, it's interesting because it's different. Because why is it different than Vidyamananam? What is it?
Well, ish is Parasmaipada verb, so the declensions would be different. And nirvidyamananam, I think, is passive.
Okay. Are you going to learn all these things? All Sanskrit grammar?
Sorry,
How much?
Guru Maharaj.
Yeah. How much grammar are you going to learn? Are you going to be a big Sanskritist or a moderate Sanskritist or a simple Sanskritist?
I think I'm simple right now, but hopefully I can learn more.
Yeah. And then it could be nice, and you can write, take different Sanskrit literature, find something nice, and write. You can write nice historical novels based upon Sanskrit material. There's so much, associating with devotees who are doing this stuff. Radhika knows them, and so on, different people, in the universities. And then there's so many things that can be translated, and put into a nice context for for reading, or also then for movies and stuff and literature. My goodness, maybe we'll be speaking Sanskrit conversationally. O King, this is what Maharaj Sukadeva Goswami now says to Maharaj Pariksit, the same thing in the beginning. O King, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord, after the ways of the great authorities. Okay, that means like 16 rounds, so different ways to chant it. Okay, you chant on beads 16 rounds a day. You have kirtan with devotees morning and evening. You chant it following Lord Chaitanya's Shikshastaka. Okay, so we're chanting after the ways of a great authority. Is the doubtless and fearless way for success for all, including those who are free from all material desires, those who are desirous of all material enjoyment, and those who are self-satisfied by dint of transcendental knowledge. Prabhupada's purport is a little bit, it's a long purport. My goodness, too long for us today. We can take a little bit maybe. In the previous verse, the great necessity for attaining attachment to Mukunda has been accredited. There are different types of persons who desire to attain success in different varieties of pursuits. Generally, the persons are materialists who desire to enjoy the fullest extent of material gratification. Chaitanya Charitamrita, I think your microphone's open still. Maybe you can chat and talk. Yeah, because it gives some background there. Maybe there's some cars going by. Generally, the persons are materialists who desire to enjoy the fullest extent of material gratification. Yes. Okay. How many of us are in that category? Next to them are the transcendentalists who have attained perfect knowledge about the nature of material enjoyment, and thus are aloof from such an illusory way of life. So maybe some of us are beginning to realize we're becoming a little bit wise, and we actually know, and because of that, we can actually exert some control over our desires. More or less, they are satisfied in themselves by self-realization. Above them are the devotees of the Lord who neither aspire to enjoy the material world, nor desire to get out of it. Aha! They are after the satisfaction of the Lord. Okay. So we don't have to try and escape from different stimulus, which leads us into illicit food, illicit tasting, illicit eating, and illicit sex. We just simply have to. Our full focus should be desiring always the satisfaction of Krishna. So Krishna is related to our tongue, belly, and genitals. They are after the satisfaction of the Lord Sri Krishna. In other words, the devotees of the Lord do not want anything on their personal account. Wow. If the Lord desires, the devotees can accept all sorts of material facilities. For some of us, that would be owning an ice cream store. Own your personal ice cream store. Get a Baskin Robbins franchise, a different flavor every day. And if the Lord does not desire this, the devotees can leave aside all sorts of facilities. Wow. So those who know what Krishna desires really experience his desire, experience his necessity, his want, are so fortunate, even up to the limit of salvation. Nor are they self-satisfied because they want the satisfaction of the Lord only. are not satisfied. You know? In this verse, Sukadeva Goswami recommends the transcendental chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Transcendental chanting. You know? By offenseless chanting and hearing of the holy name of the Lord, one becomes acquainted with the transcendental form, and then the attributes of the Lord, and then the transcendental nature of his pastimes. Wow, so much here, right behind this. And after studying Bhagavatam's books for so long, and with devotees, I've seen it. There's so much behind this. Okay, the offenseless chanting of the 10 offenses. If we avoid the last one, what is the 10th offense? Chaitanya Charitamrita, you know? What is the 10th offense?
That's chanting the holy names with faithfully chanting holy names, but not surrendering material tendencies.
Yeah, maintain material desires or inattentive chanting. You know? So Prabhupada says if we avoid this, we'll automatically avoid all the rest. So we should chant attentively, not unconscious chanting, which is good, but we should try and chant consciously. In automatic, everything else will follow. Of course, it may kill us very quickly. We start chanting attentively and forget to breathe and be out of this world in 3 minutes. My God, I don't have to pay my electricity bill. Nope. Yeah, I don't have to deal with my neurotic boss. Nope. In 3 minutes, that's all it takes. Just chanting and forget to breathe. Yeah. By offenseless chanting and hearing of the Lord, one can become acquainted with the transcendental form. And then again, this is cited in Upadeshamrita 7 and 8. Tanama rupa charitadi sita via vidya. So nama, okay, by chanting, and then rupa, we want to chant in front of the deities. We're not satisfied unless there's a picture of Krishna in the room. Feels like an empty room. And then with the nama rupa charit, which means the character or guna, the attributes, tanama rupa charit adi. And adi, then it says nature of his pastimes. But before that, I think, is included. This is included actually, but there is sangha. So we chant the name, then we want to see Krishna's form, the deity. Pastimes, we want to hear the Krishna book. Then we want to have the association of devotees. And with the association of devotees in their pastimes. Here it is mentioned that one should constantly chant the holy name of the Lord after hearing it from authorities. This means that hearing from authorities is the first essential. Hearing of the holy name gradually promotes one to the stage of hearing about his form, his attributes, his pastimes, and so on. And thus the necessity of chanting of his glories develops successively. This process is recommended not only for the successful execution of devotional service, but also even for those who are materially attached. Okay. According to Sukadeva Goswami, this way of attaining success is an established fact, concluded not only by him, but also all the other previous acharyas, some of who were serial killers. What's his name? Valmiki. Valmiki was a serial killer, murderer. Murugari was a torturer of animals. Yeah. But they became acharyas. Therefore, there is no need of further evidence. The process is recommended not only for the progressive students in different departments of ideological success, but also for those who are already successful in their achievements as fruity workers, as philosophers, as devotees of the Lord. Srimad Jiva Goswami instructs the chanting of the holy name of the Lord should be loudly done. It should be performed offenselessly as well as recommended in the Padma Purana. One can deliver himself from the effects of all sins by surrendering himself unto the Lord. One can deliver himself from all offenses at the feet of the Lord by taking shelter of the holy name. But one cannot protect himself if one commits an offense at the feet of the holy name of the Lord. Such offenses are mentioned in the Padma Purana as being 10 in number. Okay. This is very nice to remember. I have to try to remember myself, because this is what the 10 offenses are being mentioned. The way we recite them in most temples is from the Nectar of Devotion. It's just taken from that word by word. But here, this also is description here. Maybe I can remember this. 2111. 2111. 1111 is Agavilasita Shunyam, Nectar of Devotion. Now we have a second one, 2111. Okay. how to avoid the 10 offenses. So, very, very interesting content within the Srimad Bhagavatam on the power and potency of the holy names. And we hope from this we'll be able to get to work on our different activities for the Ministry of Education and things like that. Because right now we've been a little bit stalled, or we can't do as much as we want to do. Okay, we admit maybe we're not pundits, maybe we're fools, and all we can do is chant. Let's go back then. We have one more possible citation, but we won't get to it today. It's nice. I like PowerPoint. And maybe one more thing to mention, but any comments from anybody here about the holy names, or anything? Any questions or comments about anything?
All right.
Lord is
Hare
related to-
Krishna, Gurudeva.
Okay, here we have Mitra Vinda Devi Dasi. Where do you live, Mitra Vinda Devi Dasi?
I live in Lima, Peru,
Okay, can you be a little more specific?
in a distrito called Jesus Mary.
Jesus Maria?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
wow. Okay, and you live in a house, right?
Yes, I live in the house of my grandmother with my two brothers. I am protected by them, by your mercy, Gurudev.
And you live in a room behind the kitchen?
Eh, no, I live in the ground, in the I don't know how to say that.
On the ground floor or something? Basement?
Ground floor. Yes.
Basement? Underground?
No, underground. No, in ground floor.
Okay. Describing.
Yes, Gurudev.
But you're very fortunate to have a place to live.
Yes, Gurudev.
So you have some
The
comment,
mercy, Gurudev.
some question?
Yes, Gurudev. I was wondering, when you were talking about the chanting of the holy names, when I chanting my rounds in the early morning, I become a little fruitive for achieving
a little what? A little. I couldn't understand the word. I become a little
fruitive.
fruitive. Okay, yeah.
Fruitive.
Okay. Mhm.
I want to hear the name very, very attentively, very perfectly. Sometimes I get discouraged because I didn't get that, and I was thinking that also that it is mercy of Krishna also. And I want to ask you, how much percent is our effort, and how much percent is the mercy of Krishna in achieve the results?
It is 100% Krishna's effort and 100% our effort. that's how it actually is. Krishna's trying his best, to accomplish it, and from our side, we have to try our best, like that. So I'm remembering there was one drama by what's his name, Peter Brook, and a Mahabharata. And Dhritarashtra, before the battle starts, he says to Krishna in the drama, Krishna, I tried my best to avoid this war, civil war. And Krishna says, so did I. So that's it. 100% of the problems can be attributed to our subtle, offensive consciousness. I've been chanting for many years and I haven't made progress. Yeah, because we have very deep, subtle offenses and things we want to hang on to. Other people may see them clearly, but we're just so attached to subtle things that we don't know. Yeah, and so that blocks us. So that's what it is. It's from our side, we always try our very, very best, and we understand from his side, Krishna is trying his best. And so then a lot of our trying is to try and see how Krishna is trying to help us. I don't like this. I don't like that. Why did that happen? Why did this happen? Okay. Why am I not chanting attentively? Okay, then Krishna is trying to help me. So how can I take that as actually Krishna's mercy? I'm not chanting attentively because I'm getting older and my mind is becoming more dissolved and my body is becoming more dissolved. Okay, this is Krishna's mercy. It's pushing me to go internally. I want to chant attentively, So it's forcing me. How do I do that? Okay, I have to be more strict in my eating, strict in my breathing, and everything else, So, we have to be able to live without air because at the time of death, there's no air. Okay. So pranayama naturally comes in. Does that help a little bit?
Yes, Gurudeva. Thank you very much.
Okay, so practice giving up breathing when you're chanting. Yes. Yeah, then your mind will come under control. Any other? Oh, so we have something in the chat here. In the chat it says, "Escuchan bien? No tengo audio. Si tenemos audio, Prabhu." And Maite says, "Thanks. Maite habla inglés." Yes. Maite is actually the greatest philosopher and sage within our Sangha. She's keeping herself disguised.
Maharaj,
Excuse me.
Okay, let's go with
Hello.
Gandharva Das and Dharasaki first, and then another person after that.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances.
Whose house are you living in? Whose house are you living in?
Now I'm living in Huaraz, nearby the mountains.
And whose house is that?
It's rented. It's like living in Yosemite Park, something like that.
Well, I thought it was your mother's.
Excuse me?
I thought it was your mother's house.
No. It's not my mother's house. No. We are renting because we want to look after a better place. So this is a transitional place in which we are until we find the correct place.
I have many neighbors like that on the street where I am. Many people move here for maybe like 1 or 2 months. It's interesting. You get to know your neighbors, preach to them, learn how to talk with them. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, there are many potential.
Your voice is a little bit. What's the word? Rough, and not your voice, but the audio.
Maybe, yeah, I know. Maybe because the PC microphone is not very good.
I think so.
Yeah, sorry. I want to ask you a question about japa chanting, Guru Maharaj. You have already said that you can spend 20 years of your life chanting, and there are some very, very subtle anarthas who retains you from advancing. But if the Mahamantra chanting is the medicine, what else is needed to overcome this kind of subtle anarthas?
One purport, I always remember Prabhupada said, one should chant Hare Krishna, and over and above that, okay, then control his senses like this and that, So the main focus always, the very, very best thing is chanting as much as you can, as with as much, as much attention as you can. And so then Satsvarupa Maharaj asked Prabhupada how to chant better rounds. And he said, Prabhupada looked at him very, sternly and said, by chanting better rounds. So in most cases, we know automatically if we're chanting the holy names, Vidyavadu Jivanam, gives us the intelligence of what should we do. You should do this now. Hey, what are you doing? You're spending too much time on this. You should take care of this now. Okay. So we chant. The chanting gives us knowledge in most cases like that. And if we cannot really get in touch with the Paramatma so much, be so intuitive, then the Paramatma will be screaming over and over again. And then externally, we'll be hearing from the scriptures, and then we accepting the association of saintly people. We can recognize them. They'll all be screaming at us until finally we figure out, oh yeah, okay, I got to have this program. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do, and then we'll get like a regular daily schedule, Vaidya Bhakti, which will remind us, of chanting and so on. So that's kind of general perspective. Was there a more specific part of your question like that?
So as I understood, there is a subtler way of thinking, no? Beyond these anarthas, there is the intelligence, no? So you're telling me that there is an intelligence implicit in japa chanting, and we have to enlighten it so we can receive direct instructions from Paramatma or our intelligence. Is that what you mean?
No, the microphone's really rough because the second part I understood. What was the first part? There is something beyond something.
Yes, if anarthas are subtle, intelligence is deeper than anarthas. It's what I think. I don't know if I'm right or wrong.
Well, the intelligence again, it's a material element, so we can have intelligence in the mode of ignorance, intelligence in the mode of goodness, intelligence in the mode of passion, all being influenced by the modes, And then over a long period of time, for 17 years, we can have a certain combination. And then for a whole lifetime, if you take birth in the body of an elephant, okay, then you have a certain intelligence, And how much the heart is purified and the material intelligence is starting to extract itself and wake up, that's something else, So in the mode of goodness, it's very easy for our material intelligence to be active. In the mode of passion, it becomes difficult. In the mode of ignorance, which just becomes very difficult.
Okay.
Yeah. If you've got water in a sponge and you put it in the oven, what happens to the water?
It dries.
Yeah, it turns to steam, right?
Yes.
Flies away. And you just leave it in the room, it stays wet. But what happens if you put it in the freezer?
It turns to ice.
It's not going to move anywhere.
Yeah.
Like that. Steam can go everywhere.
Yeah.
And the steam can get out of the sponge completely. The water, if you squeeze it, can go out. So that's like an arta nivriti, following the process, And so the process is, the anartas are there in the intelligence as much as anything else. But the intelligence can be, freed from the color of the gross senses and the color of the mind with its desiring and thinking and feeling and willing. So the intelligence can exist, buddhi, in that state. And Prabhupada says when the buddhi, the intelligence is purified like that, we're just right next door to Krishna. It's a little bit of a push. At that point, basically, you're totally purified, and suddenly the spiritual masters gives you a push, and suddenly you're standing in front of Krishna and feeling like a complete idiot. Yeah.
Okay. What a wonderful analogy, the water one. Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay. So don't complain if Krishna squeezes you.
Okay. Okay, Guru Maharaj. Thank you.
And some water comes out. There was somebody else had a question there, comment, I think. Maybe the last one. Maybe not. Maite says, your servant, nacimiento tras nacimiento. Okay, I hope not. I hope we know basis. Today is, what was yes.
One confirmation, just a few verses down in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.10 mentions a person who has broader intelligence, whether he be full of all material desires, without material desire, or desiring revelation, by all means, worship the supreme whole, personality of Godhead, which applies to that holy name. Any of those, it kind of confirms what you're talking about, the current verse.
Yeah, the current verse is almost the same, but the other verse adds akama, sarvakama va, moksha kama, udarati, tivrena bhakti yogena, yajate purusham param. That verse adds those who want to be free from all desires. This one just says those who have desires or those who are liberated. But we're the guys in between. You want to be liberated. Today is Chaturatma's birthday. Today is, who else is it? Satyabhama Devi Dasi's birthday. And yesterday was Hari Lila's birthday. So we did a happy birthday PowerPoint show. Let's see if we can see it here. And actually probably spent too much time. But we were chanting Hare Krishna. Let me see if I got it here. So I'll show it real quick. File. Okay. There it is. Okay. Slideshow. Set up slideshow. Manually. Okay, and I hope I have no audio on these things. So there it is. Okay. My God. Okay. Okay. Radhe Sham.